And now the focus seems to be on improving the new dog park north of the city. We're taking you to the Coon Rapids High School cafeteria for lunch, where restaurant-style food like these raviolis are set to hit the trays. Right now, you can log on to the city's website and click on crime mapping on the right-hand side of the homepage. I hold in my hand a press release from the school board asking for another meeting and stating their intent to send members to the session. This week on CTN News, we're profiling an Anoka County nonprofit that's providing transportation to hundreds of kids and people in need. While Hope for Youth continues to work with the city of Anoka, they are in the process of establishing a host home network.
If you'd like to know more about Jennifer's story, she has written a book. It's called Believe. She wrote it a few years ago, and it deals with her love, her loss, and her healing. Back to you guys.
They expect to be fully online with the $7.6 million public safety data system sometime in 2015. It's homecoming week at Coon Rapids High School, and the community teamed up to drive home a very vital message to students. One other thing to keep in mind this winter is to keep your gas tank at least half full, because that will minimize condensation buildup that could lead to a frozen gas line. Reporting in Coon Rapids, I'm Jamie Karat for CTN News. Rather than wait for help on that October day, Joshua Gagner was the help. And first responders say his 5 minutes of CPR is why Tim Hoffman is alive today. McCarthy Auto World did not have automated external defibrillators, and employees who were trained in CPR, well, that was anyone's guess on October 3rd, 2013. That's when a 45-year-old technician fell to the floor in sudden cardiac arrest during lunch break.
I complained about my chest hurting a little bit. I just figured I was getting a bruise or something. I took a little break. That's the last I remember, until I woke up in the ICU.
Tim Hoffman is still trying to piece together what happened to him that day, but one thing he knows for certain is that his 23-year-old coworker Joshua Gagner saved his life. Gagner wasted no time administering compression-only CPR on Hoffman for 5 of the 7 minutes his heart had stopped beating.
And I just kept going with it until the responding officers told me that I was done, and they relieved me of what I was doing.
Officer Brian Plotz was one of the first to respond that day.
We did what was expected of us. Josh, on the other hand, he did what 70% of Americans wouldn't do, and that's get involved and help.
Plotz says this is a perfect example of how bystander CPR can mean the difference between life and death. And if AEDs were on hand, it's quite possible Hoffman would have been resuscitated before Plotz even arrived with his own pack.
You know, that was a hard lesson for them as a business in this community to learn.
I was glad somebody knew what they were doing.
McCarthy Auto World General Manager Mark Wise says his staff is currently pricing AEDs and plans on providing CPR training for his employees this month.
I'm the guy who's in charge, and I should know what to do no matter what the situation is. And in this situation, I didn't. I was ill-prepared.
And so you'll be at the top of the list for that training.
I'll be right at the top of the list to sign up for this training and get this done.
Meanwhile, Hoffman is expected back to work by the end of this month.
I feel I have a lot of people to thank. And in this situation, just saying thank you doesn't seem to be enough, especially with Josh. It's something.
Officer Plotz will be helping McCarthy Auto World reach its goal this month to get that AED in place and train employees. Plotz says he'd ultimately like to see about 300 AEDs in Coon Rapids businesses. Karen,
right.
Steve?
So we hear more successful stories like this one.
Definitely.
All right.
Brian Plotz is full of them.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks, Jamie.
That date is April 17th, and if you'll remember, what prompted that meeting was the frustration from the union that actual school board members have not been present during any of the 16 meetings that have taken place so far between both sides. Well, I hold in my hand a press release from the school board asking for another meeting and stating their intent to send members to the session. In a press release Wednesday, the Anoka Hennepin School Board asked the state mediator, quote, to schedule another meeting between the teachers' unions and district's negotiating teams to review unresolved issues in an effort to find a mutually agreeable settlement, end quote. The press release also stated that members of the school board will join the district's team for the session scheduled for March 27th.
In this case, because the teachers specifically asked for it, and the board really wanted to do everything possible to reach an agreement with them, we're kind of going against our typical procedures and we will have board members at the table.
And I appreciate that they heard a concern of ours and responded to it. I think that's positive. Also, I think this is going to be helpful in understanding why some of these decisions are being made. We hear plenty about the what from their representatives, but we need to look each other in the eye to truly understand the why. That's, I think, the opportunity we have on Thursday.
On Monday, the leadership of Anoka Hennepin Education Minnesota met and set April 17th as the date that teachers in the state's largest school district will vote on whether or not they will go on strike for the first time since 1981. President Julie Blaha tells CTN that while Thursday's meeting is a great opportunity to make something happen, the April 17th vote will remain scheduled unless a tentative agreement is met.
Even while we're talking about the idea of a strike authorization vote, that doesn't mean we stop bargaining. Our job is to get to a settlement. That's the ultimate goal. Anything that we believe can get us to a settlement, we're willing to roll up our sleeves and dig into.
No one is interested in seeing a strike. Certainly the school board is not interested in that. It's just very difficult for the community, difficult for students. So the board remains very optimistic that they can reach a settlement.
So right now it looks like a lot is hinging on that March 27th meeting between the teachers union and the school district, where school board members will be attending for the first time during these negotiations, and really ever. Only 3 can attend due to an open meeting policy, but it's not clear at this point which 3 will be at the table.
Well, as the weather warms up, more and more motorcycles will be hitting the roads, and there's concern about safety.
Last year, 53 riders in Minnesota died, and that is the deadliest year since 2008. With ridership at record high levels, the Minnesota Department of Public Safety and Minnesota Motorcycle Safety Center both continue to stress the importance of rider training. Most Minnesotans are convinced that there are 2 seasons here: winter and construction. But for Minnesota's Department of Public Safety and Motorcycle Safety Center, there's a third, and it's called Motorcycle Rider Training Season.
The objective is to be able to avoid hazards by swerving or stopping quickly.
Motorcycle Rider Training Season is underway at 30 locations across the state, including here at Anoka Technical College. More than 40,000 motorcyclists have been trained through MMSC in the past 5 years. It takes a total collaboration throughout the state to make it happen, however.
Without the instructors, this wouldn't be possible. So they definitely are a key into this whole mix of making sure that we make a safer riding environment here in Minnesota.
Yep, a little more press, a little more.
Henry and Mike Berkeley, a father-son team, have been instructing students for more than a decade.
We can watch them come and struggle like mad, if you will, when they start, and confidently walk away and feel that they can actually get on their motorcycle.
A wide variety of courses are offered for riders with different skill sets. We followed the basic rider course for our story. The $160 program is 14.5 hours and is the best way to earn your motorcycle license. BRC mixes an evening in the classroom with 2 days of rider exercises on the range using a state-issued bike.
Learning all this the right way, I feel more confident going on the road and being a safe motorcyclist, in hopes that other people will be looking out more for us.
I had a little bit of riding experience before, and I thought I knew a lot, but it turns out it made me aware of some things that I didn't know before.
Perhaps the biggest takeaway the Berkeleys hope their students ride off with is this.
The more training and the more building of skills that you continually work on, the safer and better your ride's going to be. Ride better, ride smarter, ride longer. I mean, you cannot stop learning.
Are you going riding today?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Right away.
And rider training courses run now through October. If you are interested, you are encouraged to register online at motorcyclesafety.org. We'll also post that link on our website at ctnstudios.com. Before the vote on Tuesday night, Council listened to everyone who wished to voice his or her opinion on both sides of this issue. But in the end, the decision was unanimous to shut down Trackside Dog Park. And now the focus seems to be on improving the new dog park north of the city.
As a neighbor of the dog park, I really do want it to stay there. I don't want to see it go back to a big wasteland.
I want to congratulate you for making a new park, thanking you for understanding these quality of life issues.
And ultimately, that is what it came down to for Coon Rapids City Council members on Tuesday night, the quality of life.
I have to do the test of, would I want this next to my house? And absolutely not.
With a similar sentiment felt by all council members, a unanimous vote means Trackside Dog Park will close on September 15th. Some of the people who spoke at the meeting took the opportunity to express concerns about the new dog park that recently opened in the Bunker Hills area, saying it is hardly a replacement for Trackside.
I know my dog's been there 2 times for about 15 minutes each, and I won't be taking her back unless there's like major changes.
However, council seems committed to making sure the new park eventually provides the same experience for residents as Trackside.
I think it does have a lot of potential, but I would like to see it tweaked in some ways.
And as for the area that has spent the last 7 years known as Trackside Dog Park?
It is a stormwater pond, so we probably wouldn't want to convert that to a buildable space or something else. So it's going to continue to function as a stormwater pond.
So again, September 15th, that is a Sunday, is when Trackside Dog Park will close for good. Now, I do want to point out that the new dog park in northern Coon Rapids is actually a joint effort between Anoka County and the city of Andover. And right now, some finishing touches are being made to that dog park, which include the addition of picnic tables and some topsoil. Lunchtime is a really important part of the school day for many reasons, but let's focus on the food aspect because there might actually be an influx of students buying school lunches this year due to a tasty overhaul of the district's menu.
It was a little tasteless, yeah, and a lot of people complained about it.
Coon Rapids High School student Maureen Gallimore is talking about school lunch, but that was last year. This year's lunchroom experience is sure to be completely different on the taste buds thanks to Gallimore and other student council members like Ashley Radke. They got to taste test and help choose 25 new additions to the school menu.
They have a nice taste where you take a bite and you're like, oh, I could eat this, and you enjoy the taste and you want more. This is the best. I like this the best. I tried it out and they had like enchiladas. I think this was my best.
Not exactly what you'd expect to hear about school lunch food, but that's precisely what Chef Supervisor Jeff Chenard was going for when he put together student focus groups last spring.
You can sit and ask questions to them and get their honest answers, as I would say. And they're honest. But that's good. I love it.
One of the menu items that made its debut while we were shooting our story was the whole wheat mini raviolis.
I like the cheese sauce. That was my favorite. I had like 3 servings when they served it to us at the taste test.
Students and faculty can look forward to a lot of nutritional Italian, Asian, and Mexican dishes this year, including something called a walking taco. What do you think about that walking taco?
Oh my God, yes. Yes. Just yes.
I think it's going to be here on Friday.
Good, I'm going to eat it then. I have to.
They were asking for more variety and better food, and hopefully we're going to deliver this year, and it's a goal of mine just to keep on rolling with that whole concept.
So Karen, Steve, involving the students in this process was a huge success, and that is certainly evident by all of the empty trays I'm seeing coming to the garbage cans. Back to you guys in the studio.